I want to show you how psychedelic visions can end your depression. Now, I know that sounds like it's over the top, and it is, because the truth is, it's going to take a whole lot more than one. I should know, because I went through ketamine therapy and I had dozens of them. But I do have to tell you that I credit these psychedelic visions as the reason why I reached remission within 6 weeks of doing ketamine therapy. Psychedelic visions are not, when you think of them, you probably think of like 60s, woohoo, Timothy Leary, the electric acid Coolidge test, we're all gonna go out of our minds and go through space without Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. No, that's not what psychedelic visions are in a therapeutic setting. What they are is messages from your subconscious, and always in the language of metaphor. So I want to tell you about a psychedelic vision I had that was instrumental in creating the first green shoots of self-compassion for myself. And all of a sudden I am seized by this vision. And it's a wolf. Red, glowing eyes. I've never felt such hatred for me. And you know what it was doing? It was eating me alive. And I could feel and hear my tendons and bones breaking in its jaws. And it was just swallowing me. And it was a horrifying experience. So in the middle of this horrible vision, I get a stunning realization. I am also the wolf. And that's part of the thing about ketamine is dissociation. I could be two things at once. I was both predator and prey. But that moment when I realized I was the wolf eating me, I don't think I could have understood the level of self-hatred that I had it not been for that vision. And later, when I went to therapy, look at this. I don't want to tell you something. This is how powerful these psychedelic visions are. I'm like choking up, and this was like 8 months ago. Because when you have these psychedelic visions, you are living them. But one of the things about ketamine is that it allows you to have just a little bit of an opening for your consciousness to maybe ask a question like, what are you doing? So I asked the wolf, why are you eating me? And it said, to survive. When I told my therapist about it, you know what he said to me? That is the most vivid expression of self-hatred that I have ever heard. So I asked my therapist about the weirdness of the wolf's reply. He was eating me to survive. I was eating myself to survive. It didn't make any sense to me. My therapist, he was like, yeah, he clearly knew something I didn't. Because he goes, that wolf devouring you, that is depression consuming your sense of self. But here's the thing, not out of a desire to harm, but as a survival strategy gone wrong. It's sort of like, I don't know, a reflection of the brain in a twisted form of self-protection, that it might turn inward, attacking its own sense of well-being to avoid dealing with, I guess, unresolved emotional wounds. God, I sound like my therapist. Anyway, he leaned in and he goes, self-hatred can be a desperate grab for control, for safety, as a way to cope or numb the pain. And I go, so me, the wolf, me is eating me as a way to control my life? Yeah, he said. Because that way, you're too busy to look at the unacceptably painful things that are making you depressed. When my therapist recommended that I try to engage the wolf in meditation, I did. And the wolf came to me very quickly, but very unfriendly. But at least he wasn't eating me. So at one point, I was able to whisper him in my meditation, there might be more nutritious things to eat than me, like antelope, moose. The wolf seemed to hear me, and it scurried off, and all of a sudden it was hunting other things. And then over time, the wolf kept coming back to me in meditation. And so I wanted to be friends with the wolf, and he wouldn't. At one point, I had a meditation. It's not like I was talking to the wolf. It was more like I was communicating, telepathically. God, that sounds so dumb. But anyway, that's what was happening. The wolf said something shocking to me, communicated something shocking to me. Do you know what he said? He said, in a really mean look in his face, he says, I am not your friend. And I was really taken aback by that, and not a little bit hurt. Because here's this wolf I'm trying to make peace with. So there was one last meditation that really broke it open for me. And I'm in this house, it's snowing, I'm warm, and I hear the wolf howling. Because it won't come near me, but it's around me. And this time it's howling. I didn't feel threatened. If anything, I felt protected. And then I realized in the meditation that what the wolf was howling to the other wolves was that Michael's okay. He's in the house. He's safe. And what I got out of that communication with the wolf was, I don't need to be your friend or your family to recognize your worth. You are worth protecting, period. I don't have to be friends with you. I wasn't smart enough to get that. My therapist helped me understand that. This is what I want to get at about psychedelic visions, is that what started out as a representation of self-hatred ended up being the beginnings of self-worth. So this is a really long way of explaining how a psychedelic vision can help end your depression. Now, obviously, that didn't end my depression, because first of all, that was early on. But what it did is that it created a conversation with myself that there's just no way I could have had that with just talk therapy, and certainly not with an SSRI. So that is how psychedelic visions can help you end your depression. It's like ketamine therapy doesn't work for everybody, but it can and will most likely work for you. And it deserves your considered attention. And what I would like to do is help you understand whether it's right for you or not. So come visit me on my website,